Let's talk about the thing that we all experience as private coaches in the online world. Insta-poster syndrome. Yes, I made that up. Imposter syndrome. It is the imposter syndrome that we feel when we get onto Instagram. And maybe you don't feel necessarily imposter syndrome in the way that you think, but if you feel influenced, if you feel inspired, if you are doing research, if you are just casually or not so casually stalking and snooping around other voice teachers' accounts, because let's be real, it's basically a sport at this point, you are feeling Instaposter syndrome. Let's talk about this because Instagram is meant to make you feel this way. Isn't that so fun? It is so good at it. It's like this crazy love-hate relationship where we're like, why do I keep getting on this platform that makes me feel terrible? And also, it makes me feel worse that it knows that it makes me feel terrible, and yet here I am. Here I am. Now, this isn't for everybody. In fact, I know a lot of voice teachers. I'm actually thinking of like 3 right now who genuinely did take a break from Instagram because they couldn't feel like this anymore and they're sick of feeling this way. And that is exactly why we need to talk about this, because here's the real deal. Instagram ain't going away. Social media is a very powerful marketing tool. And yes, it does help you scale. So how do we feel better about this, right? And we've talked about this in previous episodes, but we're not going to necessarily talk about the mindset around Instagram as much as we are the actual misconception we have around our relationship with Instagram. Because here's the thing. We get onto Instagram thinking that, oh, I'm just doing a little research. I'm just going to see what so-and-so is doing with their business and with their branding, with their videos and their content and their hooks, and how do they position that and how do they write that caption? And we do our snooping, right? Because we equate those profiles, especially the ones that have big followers and bold colors and viral warm-up videos and lots of comments and saves and shares, we think, wow, they are crushing it. Wow, if they're crushing it, I need to see what they're doing, right? And that is the biggest trap. That is the trap of Instagram. And that is actually what is causing this unnecessary imposter syndrome. Because A, what does crushing it actually even mean, first and foremost? And B, there is a very big difference between an Instagram that performs, that has a really great looking handle, and one that actually sells, one that actually serves, one that actually is a business, right? And most voice teachers don't know the difference. Most of us can't tell the difference, which means that you're either feeling like you are falling behind for the wrong reasons, for the completely wrong reasons, or worse, you are copying the wrong things, which honestly deserves its own podcast episode. But this is a problem. So we need to talk about it, because let's talk about the origination of what Instagram actually was. Instagram was originally a photo app, right? Do we remember these days? What was it, like 2010, 2011? I don't know. I was in college and I remember when I first got Instagram and it was just all beautiful photos. And I happened to be like on a European trip with my choir and taking all these European photos at cafes in Paris and, you know, the bridge in London, and having all these weird filters. And it was a deeply visual app. Like, that's the whole point. We are visual creatures, and that is what Instagram has always had its foundation on, right? And so now here we are, however many years later, 15 years later, and we are still in that train of thought. We are still hooked visually. Voice teachers are especially susceptible to this because we are curious and we are competitive about what everyone else is doing. And so the visual component is really easy. It's an easy access for us to kind of assume and, you know, make these assumptions about how other voice coaches and teachers are doing this, right? And so we get these false signals. We get these false signals that we mistake for great branding. Things like followers. Follower count. Yes, just because you have a big following does not mean that you have big numbers in your bank account. Doesn't even mean that you have numbers in your studio at all, right? Those are not the two, they're not the same thing. Followers, engagement, bold colors, big colors, cohesive colors, maybe just viral content in general, right? We see, oh my gosh, they've got like so much viral content. They are going crazy. That means they're probably crushing it, right? Or just consistent posting, saves, shares. These are all great data points for us on the business side, which again deserves its own podcast episode, but they are not what make a great brand. A great brand is actually on the back end. And you will know, which I'm going to explain to you in this episode, what actually makes up a great brand and how to find that when you are doing your little snooping, okay? Because here's the thing. If you are posting every single thing under the sun, let's say you're doing straw phonation exercises and silly warm-ups and singing hacks and affirmations for singers and common vocal problems, right? All of these things may be great content, may even go viral. That's cool, but it's not necessarily bringing in the kind of income that you are looking for. Here's why. You are building an audience of people who love fun content. They are not necessarily people who want to buy from you, and they may not necessarily be people who want to buy in the first place, but they may not want to buy from you specifically, right? Big numbers and bold colors create the illusion of a great brand, but illusion and reality are very different things. So here's what I want you to know what a great brand actually is. A great visual brand is not one thing. Okay. It is the cohesion, the combination of many things working together seamlessly. And this is what I mean. Colors, fonts, photography style, video style, stories, beliefs, and your energy, right? All of it combined tells one clear story about who you are, the type of teacher that you are, and who you are for. And the key word that I want you to hear here is cohesion. This is not about perfection. This is not about having polished work. This is not about feeling like you need to be a graphic designer. This is about cohesion. Cohesion of all of these things put together. Okay? It's like a big puzzle piece that you're putting together. Every visual element should say the same thing. And that's how they all go together. They should all be saying the same thing. They should be saying, essentially, your dream student lands on your account and they immediately go, oh my God, this is for me. Or they go, oh my God, this is not for me. And that is great. We literally want both. Both are perfect outcomes, right? And so a couple of examples of brands that really, really nail this. So I've seen one on Instagram where her entire purpose is to help artists reclaim their creative spirit, like reclaim that inner child part of them that loves to create, that loves to make art, but they feel stuck. But they are artists, so they're coming back to their work, right? Okay, that's a very, very specific person. Now we are going to have very specific branding, very specific colors, fonts, style, messaging, all of it to support that, right? And so her vision, like her actual visuals, it is bold. It is maximalist. It is loud colors, bold colors. Everything about it is full of purpose. Everything about it is saying the same thing, which is that it is okay to be seen. It is okay to be seen. It has this unapologetic, be bold, be you vibe in every single thing that she posts, not just her content, right? Here's another one. Another one I've seen is this kind of more sleek an editorial look for a voice teacher on her account. And she's got this, cool girl confidence. She has this embodiment where she's going, I am the brand and I can teach you how to do what I do. And so her dream people are like, oh my God, I want that confidence, right? It's very fashion forward. It's very sleek. And it has everything aligned because everything is consistent, not only with every touch point of her business, but she is attracting in high level, high ticket clients, right? She is actually trying to attract the serious singers, women, female singers who have money and really want to put it in the place that she wants them to put it, which she does very beautifully in her messaging, right? And so her visuals capture that as well. Another example of this is, and actually it's so fun because it's not even a voice teacher, but it's a piano teacher. And this piano teacher, I mean, again, business is business. It translates all across the board here. This piano teacher teaches adults how to play songs. Beginner adults who want to just be able to sit down at the piano and just play a song. They don't want to play scales. They don't want to perform in recitals. They don't want to go through the Alfred beginner piano adult book with those boring, lame songs. She knows her people's, pain points. She can speak directly to that, and her entire vibe, everything from her colors to her cozy space where she's, drinking her little latte and her tea next to her keyboard, and she's got sweet music playing, and she's in this like a fire and a candle, behind her, and she's got snow or the mountains behind her, and it's just so cozy, and everything about it screams, let's make this fun. Let's make this is accessible for you. Anybody can do this, and let's get cozy in our house and feel good together. Right? And so everything is warm and approachable. And she uses her not your average piano teacher as a way to connect all of that with her brand. So here's the thing that they all have in common. You know immediately who they're for. That's the thing, right? Who you are talking to is reflected in your colors and in your photos and in your energy. It is all interconnected, right? And so even if you have a beautiful color palette and you have awesome looking fonts and you even hired a brand manager to do your branding and maybe your photos and all of that, if you have a scattered account, you have great individual posts, they land on your feed, but they don't actually feel anything, they don't know that you are talking directly to them, it is not a clear brand, right? We need to have one single story and one person that you are speaking to, and have all of your visuals really support that. So if you are earlier in your journey and you're feeling a little behind on this, don't worry. In fact, this is great news. I honestly, I feel like it's almost better. It's way better to be in that beginner energy where you're like, I actually have no idea what my color palette is. I have no idea what my fonts are. I don't know what my brand presentation is, my photos. I haven't had a photo shoot, anything like that. That is awesome, because now you're in the perfect position to learn everything that you need to learn to do it right from the get-go, and not do what most of us did, like myself, and having to learn the hard way. Here's the other thing I want you to know, though. If you are early in your journey, the most important thing that we are going to be focusing on is your branding, because your following size does not matter. It does not matter. What matters is, volume later, of course, when you're really starting to scale and you want to start reaching bigger numbers and with more passivity and all of that. But when you are just starting out and building your actual brand from the ground up, don't worry about your following. In fact, from my experience, let me tell you, I had a tiny following in 2018 with the whole voice, but my brand was so clear and my conversions matched that. It's about the conversions, not the followers, right? And so my brand back then, and it's kind of changed a little bit in the color palette and some of the photos and the people that I'm speaking to ever so slightly. But back then it was really, really focusing on these earthy tones. It's soulful, spiritual. I'm in the mountains. We got greens, we got oranges, we got browns, and it was warm. And every post and every photo and every color were all saying the same thing. And the thing that they were saying is that singing is a self-care practice. That's what I had been saying over and over. And I knew who my people were. They are the people who enjoy singing. They enjoy singing on their own, but they go to actually try to do it for real, quote unquote, and they feel completely lost, a little overwhelmed, a little like, whoa, something big is coming up for me somatically inside, because there's some inner child work that I need to do around my voice, right? But they genuinely understand that singing is innately spiritual, that it is innately a pleasureful feeling, right? And that they want to feel that. And so I matched my brand with who those people were and how I could help them with my colors, with my tone, with my photography style, with the video style, with all of that stuff, right? And let me tell you, not just about having followers, it's about what you do with your followers, right? Posting everything for everyone is going to get you mixed followers. And what we really want to be doing here is speaking to one person, which if you have not listened to the previous episode on this in part 2, go and listen to that, because that is all about attracting your dream students. Your visual brand does not have to be this big, bold, and fancy thing. I really want to make this clear, because you don't need a graphic designer to create it. You just need it to make sense. You need it to support who it is that you are really targeting, right? So here's what I want you to do. The next time that you are stalking someone and looking at their actual Instagram, and you're looking at their brand and you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful, it's so cohesive, they have their color palette and it just looks so good, I want you to ask yourself, does this account have a lot of followers, or does it have a clear brand, right? Do you know who they are talking to? And ask this about your own account as well. Does your content have your dream student going, oh my God, you are in my freaking head in every post? And if not every post, close to every post, right? And here's the thing I want to say about this. It is quite okay if posts are hyper specific. If you're like, oh my God, I feel like I'm only talking to one person in this one post, and that's a little scary because I have a lot of people in my audience and other people might feel like they don't know what I'm talking about. That's not true. Because nobody thinks that. They don't read things and go, I don't know what she's talking about. They either go, that's interesting. That doesn't really relevant for me, but that's really interesting take. Or they go, whoa, interesting. I had never thought about it like that before. That is super thought-provoking. Thank you for sharing, right? They're not going to swift through it and be like, that is not relevant for me. And so stop getting out of your own way with that thought and be specific. You genuinely want all of your posts to be like, oh my God, you are in my freaking head. Like that's what you want your people to be saying. And they only say that with specificity, right? And so specificity, your vibe, your visuals, the photography, the fonts, the color, the cohesion, all of it put together. This becomes the immediate recognition of your brand. This becomes how people go, oh, I know who that person is. And they immediately think of you in their head. They remember you. They build a tighter, more refined, more, what's the word? A stronger brand association with you. And that is how people sign up. Whether they sign up now or whether they sign up in the future, it is because of that really strong brand association. And so I want you to be thinking about this. How do all of the elements of your visual brand come together and support everything that you have been learning in this series and everything that you do with your branding from here on out? If you are not sure and if you need help with this, this is what we're doing inside Module 3, baby. My gosh. And let me tell you, I love Module 3 so much because this is where we take all of the work from Module 1 and Module 2, which is essentially your movement, who you are as a teacher, why you're different, being able to articulate that, and then really finding that intersection with who it is that you are most meant to serve, being able to articulate that in a form that they are like, oh my God, you're in my freaking head. When you put the visuals with that, holy. I keep saying holy guacamole, and then I'm like, I need a new phrase here. Holy shiza, I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. It is so awesome because it really brings it all together, right? Like, remember, we are visual creatures. Every single one of us, we can't deny it. I am like currently looking at gorgeous red rocks for a reason. I'm a visual person. I had to earn this spot. I'm like, I want views at my window because I love looking at pretty things, right? We all love looking at pretty things. And so I want you to know that you don't have to do this alone. It's really easy to do. And once you do it, it is going to feel so good. You will be able to look at your brand and go, oh my God, it makes sense now. It all makes sense now, right? And getting photos back, getting your visuals back, getting a beautiful website going, getting some content that looks good. Man, if there's nothing that makes you feel better, like seriously, it feels damn good. It really, really does. I have done lots of photo shoots and lots of websites, and I've been making content for years. And when I put it to the actual visual, I create the template, I create, the tagline or whatever it is, the website, it brings it to life. And it's so exciting and it's so motivating, and it will give you the spark that you need if you are feeling stuck. So come and join us. What are you waiting for? We only have, I think, 10 days left. I believe so. I can't remember at this point, but we only have a few weeks left inside of Voice Your Brand Live, which is happening inside of the Voicepreneur program. If you are listening to this after the program is over, no sweat, my friend. Come and join us inside of the Voicepreneur program, and you can still get access to all of the deep, delicious trainings. And let me tell you, they're so easy. Like, you will be flabbergasted at how easy and simple and efficient these trainings are. Okay, my love. Go out, make some beauteous vibe making out there with your designs, with your visuals. I cannot wait to see what you do, and I will catch you in the next episode.